So hey guys, today we're going to be going through all of the new cards once again. And is this alphabetically sorted? G, Gigantic Champion Sargus. Then we have Ecclesia. Yeah, unless I'm stupid, I think G comes before E. No idea how these are sorted. Like, why is Gigantic Champion Sargus here? Well, either way, let's get through all the new cards. So we have Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon generic Synchro 8. Before we read this card, just quick thought out there. Um, is there any chance that this card is just going to generically be better to make than like, I don't know, like Cyframe Lord Omega or something? Or not Omega, Chaos Ruler. If it is better, then it's kind of funny how Chaos Ruler is still banned. But anyway, during the main phase quick effect, you banish this card until the end phase, so it'll come back later, and that means you can do this effect again on the following turn. And if you do special summon one Fallen of Albaz or one level 4 or lower monster that mentions it from your deck or graveyard. I'm not 100% sure what monsters mention Fallen of Albaz. A lot of the Fallen of Albaz kind of look like monsters. Probably mention Fallen of Albaz, like for example the pistol Fallen of Albaz, that one. It has to mention it's copying Fallen of Albaz's name or whatever, so you'd be able to special summon that from your graveyard. Not that the effect that guy's like dancing. Actually, it's okay, technically in some cases. Does this banish itself for cost? No. It banishes itself as an effect, which is technically worse, but okay. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 8 fusion monster in your graveyard with banishment and one card on field. Shuffle both of those cards and this card into the deck. Wait a second. So you need a fusion monster somehow after you've summoned this card, right? Or at some point you need to summon a fusion monster and then you need to synchro summon this card. Maybe, unless there's a way to cheat this out. I'm assuming that there must be a method to cheat this out, and you're not synchro summoning this. You must be special summoning it, right? What was the wording exactly on Branded Fusion? Pause. Let's see. Branded Fusion. Does this prevent you from summoning from the extra deck? Period. Yes. So even if you were cheating out a synchro, you couldn't do that after you result Branded Fusion. So that's confusing, I guess. But if you were to just send this to the graveyard, this is able to remove floodgates and other such things, right? You could use this to do what? So it does target. And the level 8 fusion can be banished. So it's just a very efficient recycling card at the very least. Okay, I guess. Next, the 3 Champions of Sword Souls, or the 3 Champions of Sword Soul. 1 level 4 tuner plus 1 non-tuner. If this card is synchro summon, you can add 1 level 4 or 8 spellcaster monster whose attack equals its own defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I have no idea what monsters fit this criteria, actually. But this is another kind of prototype card, huh? Okay. You can target one face of card on the field, negate its effects, then if an Ecclesia monster or Fallen of Albaz is in your graveyard, you can destroy that card. Optional. Destroy. Nice. That's an optional destroy. So if you don't want to destroy, you don't have to. But this isn't a quick effect. So this card effectively, if you're going first at the very least, this only has 1 effect. And this Ecclesia. I don't know. Alright. That's just Albion? Okay. Archfiend Emperor. More Archfiend stuff, I guess. And wasn't there like another Archfiend ritual monster they released or something? You can ritual summon this card with the tone of the Archfiends must be ritual summoned, unaffected by other monsters' effects while in the extra monster zone. Wait, what? Huh? You can target one other face of Soul Trap on the field, destroy both it and this card. This card is ritual summoned from the extra deck. You can banish all monsters on field, except in the extra monster zones. If this card in the extra monster zone is in the extra monster zone, you special summon one fiend monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or banishment. Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, that affects pretty cracked. Special summon any fiend monster. Well, on the bright side, it's not add to hand. Vanity's fiend, I believe, is a fiend or whatever. Vanity's ruler, Vanity something. There's like some Vanity's Floodgate guy that cannot be special summon. I believe it has to be specifically normal summon. So at least that's not searchable. That's something. Aside from that, though, you can just special summon anything. Fire fiend. Wait, fire fiend. Fire fiend. Fire fiend. Isn't there some card that can search fire fiends? I don't know if it's like super accessible. Can't quite remember. But okay. So I guess what's really worth mentioning here is if you were to ritual summon this, I don't understand how you're ritual summoning this to the extra monster zone, because you can only put things into extra monster zone if they're summoned from the extra deck. So being a ritual monster and all that, you would have to first place this into your extra deck face up and then summon it from there, which is weird. But it says it must be ritual summon, so there must be a card that ritual summons this from your extra deck, which is kind of weird because you also have to find this card and then put it onto your extra deck, I guess. There's no way there's a card that puts this onto the extra deck and then allows you to ritual summon, is there? Well, I mean, technically, if we had an effect to place this, maybe do something else, and then graveyard effect, banish this card, ritual summon, Archfiend Emperor. Yeah, I can see it kind of working. Archfiend Matriarch. You can target one Archfiend Soul Trap in your graveyard or banishment, destroy this card, and if you add that target to your hand. Wait, can this card destroy itself? One other. No. And it has to be face up. Spell or trap on the field. Wait, but this doesn't say your field. So this is actually usable as kind of an MST, but only kind of. This gives you less of a reason to flip over certain floodgates, I guess. Just like during like standby phase or whatever. Standby draw phase. Okay. You can ritual summon this card with Throne of the Archfiends. Must be ritual summon unaffected by other monsters. Effects while in the extra monster zone. Oh, they're also both unaffected, right? Other stat lines aren't that significant. Okay. Wait. Wait. You can't dash this. You and impermit, I guess. But wait. It doesn't state anything about player. So it's unaffected by your own cards too. But this locks you out of link summoning actually, which is a little bit interesting. Okay. I guess ideally you would maybe blend this with Fusion then, or Synchro. Maybe even XYZ. Are these all level 7s? Okay. If this card is ritual summon, you destroy as many spell traps your opponent controls as possible. Then, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you banish all spell traps from your opponent's graveyard. That effect is kind of mid, actually. So only the Pend effect is super good on Arcane Matriarch here. I mean, it does have backer removal, which is nice, but the main effect is going to be that's going to be consistently utilized is probably this one. But having the option to remove backer is always nice. Dogmatica Fleur de Lis the Thunderbolt. During the main phase, if a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this can be special summoned during either player's turn then, essentially. Interesting. If this card is special summon from the hand, you can set one dogmatic trap from your deck. It can be activated this turn while your opponent controls a fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link monster with 2,500 or more attack. So this is more turn 0 stuff, basically. Let's real quickly look for a Dogmatica trap then, I guess. Might as well. Oh, punishment. You in turn 1 Dogmatica punishment your opponent then, in theory. It has to be set from deck though. So you want to be playing multiple punishments if that's what you were trying to do, right? You only activate one Dogmatico punishment per turn though. That's like intriguing. I don't know if that's really that good. Fallen of the White Dragon. This card is always treated as Fallen of Elbaz. If this card is in your hand, you can send one monster that mentions Fallen of Elbaz from your extra deck to the graveyard. Special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except level 8 fusion or synchro monsters. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one Ecclesia monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So this card's just insane. So this sends for cost a monster that mentions Vault of Albaz from your extra deck to the graveyard. And those guys usually have like a trigger that does something during the end phase. Those cards, right? And you send it for cost. That means you guaranteed pretty much get it into the graveyard. That effect is not really stoppable. And then that allows you to special summon this card. And then when you do special summon this, you get to special summon an Ecclesia or attempt to do so. And that will try to do something as well, I guess. So at minimum, like, let's say we have only one hand trap, so one Ash, okay? So we do Fallen of White Dragon effect, send, and then this effect, let's say you Ash this effect, then you in end phase, you can send, you can still special summon that one Ecclesia. I don't remember what the name of that Ecclesia was, but it's the one that counts as like an Ecclesia for a bunch of different archetypes or whatever. It's also like a Despia monster. So that can Foolish Burial Fallen of Albaz. Then if your opponent special summons like a guy from the extra deck, you can special summon Fallen of Albaz from the graveyard to make Mirror Jade. You can still do that despite getting like ashed. So pretty good card. And technically same deal with like impermanent stuff, right? Yeah. Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit. If you control a Tri-Brigade or Spriggan's monster except for Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card is sent to the graveyard. You can special summon one of the following monsters from your graveyard in defense position except for Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit. From the graveyard? Wait, what? Did they print like a Link 1 or something? So this looks like just an extender, right? This doesn't get you anything from deck. Deftero, Eneacraft, Alan, no, Zella, or is it Ala Zonella? Because of the capitalization, am I supposed to read this forwards or backwards? Confusion. Okay. Each time a monster is flipped face up, place one EC counter on this card. An Eneacraft counter? Okay. You can pay 900 life points, reveal 3 Eneacraft cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one. They don't have to be different ones. It's the Pearly effect again, basically. Okay. Oh wait, is this a hand flip deck? Oh my god, that gives me such pain. Okay. Flip. Banish face up one random card from your opponent's hand until the end phase. Wow, that's absolutely useless so far because the card still goes to your opponent's hand again. But you do get information because it's banish face up. Okay. When your opponent activates a card or effect that includes an effect that adds a card from your deck or from the deck to the hand, quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, add one Eneacraft from your deck to your hand. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. From the deck to the hand? So this effect over here doesn't trigger this effect. Okay. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. That effect might be good for something. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this effect except in face down defense position. Alright, never mind. You can't even pendulum summon then if you activate this effect, and this is a pendulum monster. Okay, whatever, man. These are all scale 0. So I guess this isn't a pendulum summoning archetype. Each time a monster's flip face up, place one EC counter on this card. At the end of the battle phase, if you have an Eneacraft card in your other pendulum zone, you can target one monster your opponent controls with less attack than this card. Destroy. Okay, I don't think this archetype could possibly be that good, huh? Latori Mar. Flip. Change all your opponent's monsters to face down defense position. The monsters that cannot change their battle positions. What was this effect? Right. Okay, during your turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, change this face down card to face up defense position, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Wait, what? That's only during your turn. So if I have this card face down, for whatever reason, on my turn, this is just an Omni negate. Okay. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. So far, I don't think this deck does anything except for this one Omni negate, but only on your turn. Yeah, okay. Eneacraft release. Place one Eneacraft pendulum. Wait a second. Pause. This archetype seems terrible so far, and RAC 3 URs. Alright, proceed. Place one Eneacraft pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn was sent there, you can banish it, add one face up Eneacraft monster from your extra deck to your hand. Does it have a soft ones per turn or something? No? Wait. How did an Eneacraft monster get to your extra deck? The only thing I see is this battle phase effect. At the end of the battle phase. Destroy it. Right? Wait, no. That doesn't put the card to the extra deck either. This destroys your opponent's card, not your own card. Wait, what? Okay, I guess. Fallen in the Virtuous. Activate one of these effects. Send one monster that mentions all of Albaz from your extra deck to the graveyard. And target one face-up card on the field. Destroy it. Oh, this is just straight up removal. You can just use it like a Raigeki break. And in theory, like once again, this sends for cost, right? Oh, so you're guaranteed advantage off of this once again. Oh. Wow. That's kind of brutal. If you have an Ecclesia monster in your field or graveyard, target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it to your field. Ooh, that effect's actually pretty damn strong, isn't it? That's like a Monster Reborn. That's a quick play. Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it? Well, at the very least, you could bring back a Mirror Jade with us, and then Mirror Jade. Oh my. Mirror Jade can send another Fall of Albaz mentioned like monster. So this deck, I think, just simply out advantages your opponent. That's probably the thing that makes this deck good. It's just setting up advantage that you can't really stop, right? Because it's sending for cost and then it does a different effect. So whenever you activate any of these cards, so like Fallen and Virtuous, um, Fallen of the White Dragon, if you activate either of these, it's effectively got two effects for you to deal with. So if the whole archetype is like this, assuming we have like 5 different cards, we're activating like 10 different effects. So you no longer have an interaction for every card in my hand almost, right? So if you have 9 interactions, I'll still be able to activate in theory like 10 with that kind of hand. So this is encroaching on kind of like tier limit territory in the sense that the only other deck that I can think of that can play with that kind of advantage is pretty much just tier limit. So for example, normal summon, Rhino Heart, effect of Rhino Heart. If negate destroy, then it can send something else from hand, and that thing will trigger as well. But even if it that doesn't get sent, so maybe it's like a Sheeran or something, then you can still activate Sheeran effect as well. But if you negate destroy Sheeran, then we can fusion with like Rhino plus Sheeran and so on and so forth, right? So it's like that kind of idea. Well, there were some aspects to this. Tri Brigade, Arms, Mouser. If this card is linked, summon, you can send 2 Tri Brigade cards with different names from your deck and or extra deck to the graveyard. Oh, that effect's actually really, really good. Is there a lock on this though? Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monsters. Okay, makes sense. Because of this effect, you can send Shreg, and Shreg adds literally anything, right? If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand whose level is less than or equal to the number of your bench. Beast Warrior and Winged Beast monsters. So, yeah, that can just essentially search a billion different things. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you target 1 face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense position. So as some like board breaker and interaction here, technically, if this gets sent to the graveyard, how would you send this to the graveyard actually? Oh, you can bring this back with Revolt. That's how. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So assuming this gets banished, special summon this from banish, it gets used as link material trigger. Okay. Gung Ho Spriggans. This card is XYZ summon, so this requires 2 plus level 4 Spriggan monsters, so it's not generic to make. If this card is XYZ summon, we send to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Spriggan's Captain Sargas from your deck or graveyard. Okay. You can detach 2 materials from this card, add to your hand, or special summon 1 of the following monsters from your deck. Special summon a Spriggan's monster, a Therian monster, all of Albaz or 1 monster that mentions it. Well, isn't this just... I'm assuming this card, if you can make it, would just be combo, right? Probably. And because this is a Spriggan sponsor, if I were to make this, I can go into Sargas, right? Yeah. And then Sargas can search a Spriggan's or Therian card. So they really want you to play like Spriggan's Therion, I guess. The dragon that devours the dogma. Okay. Fallen of Albaz plus 1 light or dark monster plus 1 effect monster. So this requires 3 monsters to make. This seems like a pretty good super poly target, maybe, potentially. Alright. Well, on Ecclesian monsters on the field or in either graveyard, this card gains 500 attack, playing at 3,500. Also, it is unaffected by other cards' effects, period. So, not even your own cards. Okay. You can only use each of the following effects of the dragon that devours the dogma once per turn. If this card is special summon, you can shuffle up to 2 cards from any graveyards and or banishment into the deck. Wait, this card counters itself then, in theory? Because if your opponent summons a dragon that devours the dogma, you can summon one, and then uh, attempt to put back their Ecclesia monsters. Maybe. But this also is just good at recycling things, I guess. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, because there's this turn, you can add one dogmatic or trepidate card from your deck to your hand. So the only card I can see right now that you would add, probably just wait, Fabricate. That then it's just going to be Mercurier, right? Okay. Royal Archfiend. Wait, what's the name of this card? Archfiend Emperor. Okay. Contribute this card from your hand to your face-up field. Add one Archfiend card from your deck to your hand, except for Royal Archfiend. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Archfiend monsters, but you can normal summon one Fiend monster during your main phase this turn. In addition to your normal summon slash set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. When your ritual monster is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. No idea. Okay. But in theory, I guess you're summoning that off of this, and then that can add you like an Arcane card or something. Okay. Mimical Flower, more Mimical support, I guess. Your opponent can add one flip monster or one Mimical card from their deck to their hand. So you give your opponent this, and then it allows them to, or it allows you to search a Mimical card, I guess. So that's Spell Trap or Monster. During your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in face down defense position. Okay, it helps with consistency. Oh, there are more Eneacrafts. Wait, are these also all scale 0? Yes. Okay. Each time a monster slip face, do they all have that effect? Each time a monster slip face up. Each time a monster slip face up. Okay, yeah. At the end of the battle phase, if you have an Eneacraft card in your other pendulum zone, you would target one monster your opponent controls with less attack than this card, destroy it. Some of them have this effect, I guess. I think they all have this effect, maybe. And only one of those guys searches with Panda effect. Alright then. After this card was with face up, while it isn't the monster zone, each time your opponent adds a card to the hand by their card effect, they take 900 damage for each card. So this has to be set and then flip face up to activate this effect. It can't just be special summoned. Or normal summoned, I guess. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your card or effect activation, quick effect, you can change this card, this face down card to face up defense position. Return up to 3 cards from the field to the hand. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position, so I think they all have this effect. It can special summon itself, right? Okay. At the end of the battle, okay, exact same effect. After this card was flip face up, your opponent cannot target cards. Wait, you cannot target cards in the field or graveyards with card effects. That includes their own. So for example, you can't use a rank up magic. That is weirdly obnoxious, isn't it? Okay. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card, cards you control, quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, negate the effect. Then you would banish face down one random card from your opponent's hand. This can be chain blocked. Okay, you can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. You know, maybe this deck can beat Cool Tune if it goes first, potentially. Yeah, they all have that effect, I guess. Same effect, right? Yeah. After this card was flipped face up while it is on monster, each time the monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard, they take 900 damage, so more burn. When your opponent activates a card effect that would destroy a card, cards on the field, quick effect, you can change this face down. Cards face of defense position, monsters and Eneacraft spells you control cannot be destroyed by card effects for the rest of this turn. You can reveal this card and you okay. They all have so much text that's just so obnoxious to read. And all their effects are slightly different too. Man. This is gonna take a toll on me. After this card was face up, while it is in the monster zone, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to their card or effect activation. So you can no longer chain stuff. Wait, that makes that previous card a little bit better because now they can't stack stuff to their own chain links. So for example, if you have Moyi and Chixiao, you'd have to pick one effect, right? Because they cannot activate cards or effects in response to their card or effect activations. Okay, maybe this can be cool tune. I don't know how good of a hand you would need, but alright. When your opponent activates a card or effect, it's chain link 3 or higher. Quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, negate the activation of your opponent's cards and effects activated before this card in this chain, and if you do, destroy them. Oh, that's a very specific kind of like Omni negate, but this this is like a relatively good effect, except if they have like 2 cards, you must absolutely stop. So example, your opponent activates, let's say, Branded Fusion, you would, well, Branded Fusion would always be just Chainlink 1. So you need your opponent to specifically activate a card as Chainlink 3 or higher though. No wait, that kind of sucks in a way then. I don't think this is as good as, what was the card called? Like, Transmigration? Okay, and then that's just Telehost Brigands. Okay. Any Bliss. Once returned during the end phase, remove all EC counters from your field, and if you do, your opponent takes 900 damage for each. So this is just the brain deck, okay. I genuinely don't remember all the methods. You would be, what was the method for placing EC counters? Just flipping a card or something? Okay. You can only use each of the following effects of any Bliss once per turn. You can target any number of Eneacraft pendulum monsters you control and return them to the hand. If on Eneacraft pendulum monster you control is flip face up during the main phase, you can choose one of them and either return it to the hand or place it in your pendulum zone. Still don't see a way they go to the extra deck face up like in Archetype. If they get like destroyed by battle, I guess they can go there or something like that. But no way, they have all the pendulum effects to kind of deal with like battle stuff potentially. If your opponent would destroy your cards or something, oh that's dumb. Okay. Arc Fiend strategy. Fiend monsters in the extra monster zone gain 1000 attack. They're only unaffected by monster effects, right? So they're affected by this, I think. You can activate one of these effects, banish one Fiend monster or one Arc Fiend card from your hand or graveyard, add one Arc Fiend card from your deck to your hand except for a field spell. Add one Arc Fiend Pendulum monster from your deck to your face-up extra deck. Okay. This was what I was kind of talking about, right? You can only use this effective Arc Fiend strategy once per turn. So from your deck to the face-up extra deck. You can target one Arc Fiend spell trap in your graveyard to banishment and destroy this card if you add that target to your hand. So the combo is not that, right? That doesn't do anything, right? So we could technically do Arc Fiend strategy, add that card, right? No, wait, you need to banish a Fiend monster or Arc Fiend card from your hand or graveyard to do that. So this is not a 1-card starter, no matter what, right? You need a different card with this. Okay, sure. Gaia Stream, Graceful Force. Generic rank 6. Once returned, you can also XYZ summon Gaia Stream, the Graceful Force by using one rank 5 or 7 XYZ monster you control transfers its materials to this card cannot be used as material for an XYZ summon the turn it was XYZ summon. So you wait, what? Gains attack equal to the combined levels / ranks of its attached materials times 200. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled, detach one material from this card. I mean, technically, if you're playing Kashtira, how much would you be gaining? So 7. 1 level 7 would be 1400. 2 would be 2800 if you have 3. That would be, brain's like literally fried right now. What was it like? 3,000 something? 3,400? Or 3,200? 3,600? Wait, what? Brain fried? Pull out the calculator. Okay. That's not right. Is it 4,000 something? Yeah, 4,200, right? Yeah. Brain's starting to work a little bit. Didn't need the calculator after all, right? Yeah, okay. And then after that, 5,600. So in theory, if we had like Kashtira Arisart and we summoned this on top of that, Kashtira Arisart by itself, and then 3 other Kashtiras are going to be low Arisart. So we can convert Arisart into like a really big guy in theory with Gaia Stream. And that is the only purpose I can see for that card. It can't attack directly though. So it's just helpful for maybe Kashtira to out really big monsters. That's it. Dogmatica Lawbringer. That card looks familiar. Kinda. Well, whatever. If a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field and this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card, so either player. If either player controls a extra deck monster, okay. If this card is special summon from the hand, you can have each player send one monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. Optional. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Dogmatica card in your graveyard, except Dogmatica Lawbringer, add it to your hand. Not 100% sure what you're adding back here, but you can add back like punishment at least. That's something. Highness Arcfiend. You can banish one Arcfiend card from your graveyard, add 2 Arcfiend cards from your deck to your hand, except for Highness Arcfiend. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Arcfiend monsters. When your ritual monster is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. And if you special summon this card, this does absolutely nothing, correct? Yeah, the first effect's only on normal summon. At least it has proper locks on it. That's something. Shipping Arcfiend. You can target any number of face-up monsters on the field and declare one type or attribute. They become that type or attribute. I don't see what that matters. This is a tuner, okay. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while this card is in your monster zone, except during the damage step, you can target one monster on each field with the same type and attribute from each other, return them to the hand. This effect is actually unusable. So if I want to use this as like an interrupt, I would need to know what my opponent's playing to declare the things for this. Another Eneacraft. Wow. You can pay 900 life points, reveal 3 Eneacraft cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand, shuffle the rest into the deck. So the other searcher, I guess. Not even going to bother reading this. Flip, destroy one monster your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand, quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, add one Eneacraft card from your deck to your hand. I don't think anything does anything in the hand, so it doesn't seem that useful, honestly. You can reveal this card in the... Okay. Same effect. Okay. Another searcher. Your opponent randomly picks one. Yep. Seen that effect before. Flip. Negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Eh. When your opponent activates a card or effect that includes an effect that special summons a monster, quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, add one Eneacraft card from your deck to your hand. You reveal, yep, same effect. So this effect, doesn't that only work against like ignition effects? Because if I were to special summon something, then you activate the effect. So this is an effect, right? Yeah. The effect to change this to face up, then it's like another chain to do the negate. Acts of despair. Okay, whatever, man. Tri Brigade Hammer. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Tri Brigade Hammer once per turn. Add one Tri Brigade spell trap from your deck to your hand, except for a Tri Brigade Hammer. I don't know if there are any good Tri Brigade spell or traps, genuinely. There's at least Revolt, but there's already a card that can activate Revolt. Banish any number of Tri Brigade cards from your graveyard. Special summon one Tri Brigade Link monster from your extra deck with Link rating equal to the number banished, ignoring its summoning conditions. Okay, so that effect's good, at least. That's also a quick effect. Eneacraft Reverth. Shuffle any number of Eneacraft monster cards from your hand or face a field into the deck / extra deck. So you can place them. Okay, so we found the card that finally places your Eneacraft cards to the extra deck. That doesn't do anything for you, I don't think, because you can't pen summon anyways. What did that one card even want from you having like a card in the extra deck? Wait, wasn't it like this one? No. Release. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it's not there, you can banish it, add one face of Eneacraft monster from your extra deck to your hand. Okay, so it just goes from extra deck to hand. That's it. Okay. Eneacraft reset. Place one Eneopolis from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone, or if you control Eneopolis, you can negate the effects of face up cards your opponent controls up to the number of cards. Your pendulum zones instead. If your opponent activates a card or effect while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you banish this card, change any monsters you control to face down defense position up to the number of cards in your pendulum zones. Wait a second. After these cards flip face up, they can't be flip face down. Except by that card. Okay. Forbidden Ritual Art. Ritual summon one ritual monster from your graveyard by banishing monsters from your graveyard whose total level is equal to the level of the ritual monster. Destroy it. During the end phase, you banish this card from your graveyard once. This turn, when you ritual summon, you can also use ritual monsters in your graveyard as tributes for the ritual summon by banishing them. That card's just okay, actually. It's whatever. Duke Archfiend. Gains attack equal to its level times 200. You can target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Send one Archfiend monster from your deck to the graveyard, except for Duke Archfiend if you increase that monster's level by the level of the sent monster. Sure. When your ritual monsters destroyed by battle, this card is in your graveyard. You can special summon this card, and this card actually has an effect that can be activated. That's something. Search card. And then we have flip, shuffle up to 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard and banishment into the deck. When your opponent activates a card effect in the graveyard or banishment, quick effect, you can change this face down card. The face up defense position, add one Eneacraft card from your deck to your hand. Okay. You can reveal this card in your hand. Yeah, same effect. Another search card. So it seems like about maybe half of them search cards. The other half have the destroy effect. Flip. Destroy one spell trap your opponent controls, and if you do, special summon one monster from your hand in face down defense position. Wow. Okay, that's something, isn't it? When your opponent activates a card or effect that includes an effect that sets a right quick effect, you can change this face down card to face up defense position, add one Eneacraft card for your deck to hand. So you can actually search any Eneacraft monster here and then special summon it afterwards. But that's only when your opponent activates a card or effect that includes an effect that sets a card. So if they set a card, you can then add like an Eneacraft, summon it face down, I guess, and also pop their set spell trap. Damn, this archetype feels so garbage. It is like I don't know how many your cards you need, but it's like probably at least 6, right? Okay, great. Special summon effect. Throne of the Archfiends. Ritual summon one Archfiend ritual monster from your hand face up, extra deck, graveyard, or banishment by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. During the standby phase, if you have Archfiend Emperor in your face of extra deck, you can add this card from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Okay, I guess. Wood Dogmatica Beast. Target one monster in your graveyard banishment, send to the graveyard one monster from extra deck or one Dogmatica monster for a deck with attack greater than or equal to that target, and if you do special summon that target until then, next turn after this card results, you cannot special summon from the extra deck, whatever. Arcfiend Playtime. Special summon one level 7 or lower Arcane monster from your hand or deck. Or if you have an Arcane Ritual monster in your face of extra deck, you can special summon up to one each of Royal Arcane, Duke Arcane, and Highness Arcane from your hand and or deck instead. Now the Shipping Arcfiend. I didn't say Shipping Arcfiend, right? Yeah, no. Arcfiend's Fervor. If you control an Arcfiend Ritual monster in the extra monster zone, you target one face up card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. Omni Negate. Very epic. If this card is banished from the hand or field, you can add one Arcfiend card from your deck to your hand, except for Arcfiend's Fervor. Nice, a Garnet you want to run 3 of because yeah, okay. Let's just check if there are any other new cards in any of the other packs, and then we'll be done, I guess. Let's see. Challenges collection, anything here? That's dumbness. Okay. I don't think there's anything new here. These are just staples, right? Okay. Newly added cards here. No, it's just the same ones that were in the selection, I think. Yeah. Whole lot, nothing there. Anything in here, maybe. That's just alt arts, okay. We have alt art fusion deployment and alt art triple tactics thrust, and then we have full art mirror jade or whatever it's called. So I mean, it seems like they're just trying to make bank here, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.